Morning, friend. My name is Amit. I'm a partner with Deloitte and happy to be here. If you look at, I was reading through, about some quotes, and initially Jawaharlal Nehru said that PSUs are the temple of democracies, right? In terms of, the role which they play. But I think with times we also have to realize that while they can be a temple, but they have to be, they have to be sustainable. They need to make profits also. They also need to be at par with private sector. And if you look at the growth of PSUs in India and the cover which they provide, if you look at the previous one, my predecessor, I think the previous speaker talked about the technology sovereignty and so on and so forth, right? So PSUs do provide that kind of support. They work like an ice cutter, right? While they allow private sectors to grow, but they also ensure that government has got that kind of strategic control, the security, whether it's energy, whether it's infrastructure and other sectors.
Mr. A.K. Tripathi is here, so
Okay.
I would request him also to please join us on stage. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So I'll be asking same question to more or less everyone. The idea is that obviously if you look at the kind of the diversity we have in this group, I see people from urban like smart city. I see from seeds, agri sector. I also see a lot of energy sector, gas, natural gas. I also see ports. I also see kind of industry representation. So very diverse group, I think. So we'll get to hear some diverse views. But I would request that that while we talk about what we do, right, in terms of how you bring purpose on the table, how do you ensure that we are sustainable? At the same time, we are also managing the social empowerment goals, right? The PSU's job is to not only to generate profit, but also give cover to the government as a whole, sector as a whole. So maybe you can share your experiences, in terms of how are you managing, how are you walking the tightrope between the profitability, sustainability, and social empowerment, right? So I'll start with, in no particular order, but in my favorite subject, Jammu Smart City Limited, right? So smart cities, generally what we have seen that while they have created a good infrastructure, but has been difficult to sustain, right? They need a lot of funding, and also the kind of revenue monetization efforts have been undertaken in the past have not been very fruitful or not been very easy. So your view, sir, in terms of how do you kind of so I request Sunil to kind of start with the session, right, in terms of talk about your experience.
Thank you. Smart City project was conceptualized with the purpose of improving our infrastructure as well as to bring ease and convenience into the lives of the people. Jammu was selected as a smart city in Challenge 3 in the year 2017, and we started working on this project in the year 2019. And particularly the project has developed pace only in the year 2019. In 2022, the Special Purpose Vehicle Jammu Smart City Limited was created under the aegis of Housing and Urban Development Department of Jammu and Kashmir. Since then, we have been working in this project, and we have been putting in our best efforts to bring to fruition the projects aimed at bettering the lives of the people and to bring infrastructure which was not in a very good shape some 8 or 10 years back up to a certain level of acceptability with regard to the standards elsewhere in the India, or you can say maybe not to the global standards, but to the standards that are available in the rest of the country. Now, your question with regard to the monetization, definitely monetization of the project for their sustainability and sustenance and their longevity is definitely one of the most important aspects that we have been trying to take into consideration for a number of projects, and we may have not been successful to the desired extent, but we have definitely made some inroads recently with the implementation of certain projects. We have developed, and there was a very dilapidated building. We have developed that as a heritage cafeteria in the heart of Jammu city, and we have recently put that for, given that to a concessionaire for operational management successfully. And this is one of the very famous locations that will be coming up in Jammu in next 4 or 6 months. Similarly, one of our major flagship projects, Tavi Riverfront Development Project, maybe some of you must have heard about that, is one of the most iconic projects of Jammu Smart City Limited. With the implementation of whole, we expect to get a revenue of not 500 to 600 crores. And it is at a very advanced stage with the government. We have to seek certain approvals for that, and we hope to get them within next 6 months, and the project will be, the part 2 of the project related to the real estate monetization will be put on the ground. As of now, we have completed the civil engineering aspects, civil engineering project, components of the project, and the monetization projects will be successfully launched in the near future. Similarly, there are many other projects which are definitely we are implementing, like e-buses that we are doing. Similarly, we have done an ICCC project, that is also a PPP project, and maybe some other smaller projects, which definitely now, for the last 1 or 2 years, we have been able to make certain inroads so far as monetization, which will in turn ensure their sustainability and longevity in the near future.
So any challenges which you faced in terms of, let's say, PPP or kind of, getting the required support from government at large?
Yeah. First of all, as you said, there are any number of challenges that we face in urban infrastructure projects, particularly in view of the fact that most of these projects are brownfield projects to be executed in built-up areas. Hardly you get any area which is free of any encumbrance, whether in terms of social groups, in terms of interdepartmental issues that are raised, and then there are certain rights groups like environmental groups. So many challenges we face. And so far as monetization process is also concerned, government is also, a number of decisions are left to be taken by the government, and government also takes its time. You know how our government works. They take their time. Things are not that easy, but we are continuously sustaining it, continuously persevering, and we hope now the government is also of the view that without these things, unless these things are put into picture, we are not going to get, these assets are not going to be fully fruitful for the people. And government is also now coming up with solutions, and they are also changing their policies, and we hope to get all these issues resolved in near future.
Thank you, Sunil. So we'll move on to Dr. Krushna Chandra Sahoo, Director, National Seeds Corporation Limited. So, I mean, agri obviously is a very, very important sector for us, right? In terms of that its role in the economy and the driving overall employment. So, your views in terms of, how do you walk this tightrope between making it profitable, sustainable, and also not losing the sight from the ultimate goal of the sector?
Thank you. National Seed Corporation is born to make profit. Profit is a byproduct. We work, if something profit comes, it is okay, and it is coming also. And so far, I will go a little bit back. When country got vivisected, so when country got vivisected, I think the fertile, irrigated, and good lands went out of both the sides. And unfertile, desert, say, dry land, they were left. So perhaps at that time, the main purpose of the administrator and government must be how to feed such a large population, because at that time famine, buka, hungry, this was, I think, at that time was there. So government then might have thought how to have more production. So Honorable Prime Minister always says, for the development of agriculture, bees, Bima, Bank, Bazaar. These four things are most required. So beach seed, it takes around 35 to 40% role in the enhancing farm production. Keeping that mind, in 1963, they might have set up this National Seed Corporation. Now we have 5 big farms, 3 in Sri Ganganagar district, which was once a desert also, and gradually those deserts were now converted to green fields. We always speak about Israel technology, how they manage land. I think we also sometimes forget our own house. Here also we manage desert to the green field, producing huge. So gradually, now we are in a stage where the largest producer of seed under government control. But profit has not been the motive. The pricing structure is such that, and the seed is grown in our own farms and also through 25,000 growers, individual farmers throughout the country. But main purpose is to ensure MSP plus incentive to the farmers. And when seed will be given to the farmers, that will be given at a price which is affordable. Maybe somewhere we may be making loss, that is not important. We consume our loss ourselves. So progress, what you said, it depends on many things. Honorable Prime Minister recently, I think, has gone to Ethiopia. He has told one Sanskrit, this thing in the parliament. Ya vidya, sa vidya, ya vimuktim. Knowledge or technology is that which liberates man, gives peace, gives easiness, gives comfort to the man. Keeping that in view, all our public sectors, including my company, National Seed Corporation, our main profit is how to give comfort to the people, particularly Gaon, Garib, Kisan, Mazdoor. Unko, how they will also get the profit, fruit. That has been the main purpose. So, progress cannot happen if you don't strike at the bottom of the pyramid. At top level, few billionaires creation is not the question. Question is how Lakhpati, I think Lakhpati Didi, Drone Didi, this all whatever is coming in the rural area. Now people are going back from Delhi. Of course, Delhi is a polluted city. Bangalore, Bombay, they are going back to their villages because there is the progress, there is the peace, there is the... So, profit will come, all the public sectors. If you see that, who is our stakeholder? The common man. Government has invested. Individually, we are nothing. We are not a drop of water in a big sea. But when collectively we see, those who have created us, maybe government, public money, and we are the preserver. We are the custodian. How can use it for the betterment of the public, better of the society, and betterment of the purpose at all. So, आपका purpose, I see purpose may be price, profit, population, practice, and overall purity. This is all what you have mentioned progress with the purpose. These are the purposes. And definitely, as NSC being in the agriculture sector, because agriculture is bound to fail tomorrow if agriculture fails today. This is the slogan during our student times. Everything, आपका space research, atomic, highway, port, everything will fail if food is not produced properly. Now many civilizations has been destroyed because of food, and we are going up, we are progressing because we have sufficient food. So the commitment given to the, not by the government but by the Aam Admi, the Janta, the 1.4 billion people has to be carried forward by all the PSOs. That is what I can say. Thank you.
Thank you. So you mentioned about people going back to rural area, right? The examples of drone Didi, and also any very brief, any kind of challenges, real challenges you are facing in terms of really, kind of enabling all these measures in the rural area where it can really, attract people coming back?
Challenges are many. Where is not challenge? City also there is a challenge. Village also is a challenge. Small city is a challenge. But now people have understood to get good water, good air, peaceful life, hazard of this traffic, hazard of this thing. And now farm sector is giving immense profit. Particularly people after retirement, they are bound to go to the villages. We have land, we have labor, we have capital, we have technology, we have money, we have digitalization, everything we are having. So now the total India has become a village. Connection, health, transportation, communication, internet, what is not available in the villages now? Each and every village is available. Some villages may not be available. So now people have realized, retired people, aged people, also those who had once rushed to the capitals, cities for search of work, they are thinking, here earning something and leading a miserable life. They are earning very little and having a better life is better. Second thing, organic farming. Farming and organic farming. This has become a bourgeois now. People are thinking, yes, all eating these pesticide, insecticide, fertilizer applied, seed, food, better to go and have those cow dung applied, or mulching applied, all organic things applied, those things. So gradually people are moving out. This is what is noticed now. Challenges are there, village also there are challenges. But that is not a bottleneck for going back to the villages.
Thank you. So we'll move on to see Pradeep ji from Cement Corporation of India. So obviously you that's also very, very critical component, right, for infrastructure. And if you look at our infrastructure aspirations, right, I mean, at least the sector I think is moving at a breathless speed. So your views in terms of how do you also ensure the purpose and the sustainability and the gap between, and how do you manage both?
Organizer and the audience. Before coming to the point, so I will just give a reference to the title. So the title is that leadership is the heart of the transformation of PSUs. So to coming to the point, what question was put to me, I will just have a brief background of what is reality in the corporate world, maybe government sector, maybe private sector. So I refer to the just now Indigo case. Indigo case, what has happened, realities. Because everybody think that leadership can change transformation. No. Can good leadership make a transformation in PSU or private sector? Doesn't fail in Indigo. What happened in Indigo? Indigo board was led by veteran bureaucrats, policy makers, senior IAS officers, SEBI chief, I don't name the name, SEBI chief, Niti Aayog CEO, and aviation experts, legal experts from Karamchand and Mangalchand, the legal expert, reputed law firm in India. What happened in Indigo? So all the top leaders failed. The failure because of this, their corporate governance, GRC. This world tested why corporate fails. Maybe public sector, private sector, why they cannot transparent. This is a reality in that Indigo case. We must know. The board of directors was informed that to January 2024, DGCA gave a safety notice to compliances. After 2 years also, Indigo was a listed companies. Companies Act is mandated. SEBI, they are listed in SEBI. SEBI LODR is applicable. What happened in realities? Their risk management committee board, they did not take the notice of non-compliance of the safety norms. The board of directors give preference to the cost-cutting measures, profit motive, ignoring the safety norms for 2 years. Suddenly the people, misery comes, people suffered. The minutes of the risk management committee is there, minutes is silent. Board meeting silence. So what happened? Leaders are veteran leaders in the board. M. Damodaran, I call the name, this SEBI chief, he was there. So what happened? So transparency is not possible. Because the GRC governance framework is there, any business success failure depends on the GRC. GRC means governance, risk management, and compliances. This is a well-tested formula, framework. Any business fail because of this. But here GRC also doesn't work. Because board was telling that I am aware of the facts. In minutes it was recorded fact. Such incident was happened and it was given in 2 years back. So this is what is the reason behind? So transparency on anything, any sustainability cannot comes. Unless one thing, along with the governance frameworks, you have to change the culture and mindset. The board should act proactively. Who is responsible for the individual lapses? Board of directors. When question was put by Economist Time to Mr. M. Damodaran, SEBI chiefs, he cited, I am not the right person, I am the spokesperson of the company. So who will take the responsibility of this? Now coming to this, our PSU case. Our purpose is that purpose before profit. We have the social mandate, economic mandate, and our working different. At least in PSU, we give top priority to the compliances. Beside making sustainability and profitability, we top priority government mandates, social objectives. That is our first mandate rather than profit. So we always think for the purpose before profit, and that purpose leads performance. So what is the problem in our case? What issues that developing financial strategies, sustainability for the public sector, transparency. So leave out the private sector. See India case, unless you change your mindset and culture, you cannot do anything. All frameworks failed. And such top leaders in the board did not do anything. So how do we expect this transformation can take place? So leadership cannot make transformation unless culture and innovation and mindset has to be changed. So coming to my companies, as a cement corporation in India, there is a lot of challenges. So very peculiar situation. This Indigo case, somehow, I will tell the bureaucracies, the difficulties in PSU in realities. In cement corporation public sector, it was one time 56 years old companies. The company journey start from the VFR, then revival, then it was amidst strategic disinvestment. And this company was one time, it have 11 plants, huge captive mines, and the best iron ore was there. And all the plants were shut down. Now 3 plants are operating. So what is the challenges for this company? Why this has happened? This has happened because in the market scenario, the company did not change its business model. That is the bureaucracy. Private sector, they thought innovation. So what is the challenges for the public sector that I'm telling, every corporate leaders is there. So now the thing is that disruption, digital transformation is coming. Why public sector is lagging behind? What is digital transformation? Digital transformation is not about technology. It is about leadership, business strategy, the way of developing business strategy and way of leadership. So problem is that in case of CCI, Cement Corporation of India, in the market of the cement, it is a core sector, it influences other sector also, but where 98% is dominated by the private player. And they have their largest capacity, latest technology, and low cost production, and merger acquisition is there. You may be knowing this Ultratech and Adani, they are fighting, they are acquiring the other small company, they are trying to close down other plants, other cement plants. So now other hand, CCI having 3 plants, we are 50 years old, high cost production, and manpower is not skilled. That is the legacy brand. But on another hand, CCI has a leadership at CCI has a tremendous challenges to develop business strategy, financial strategy for sustainability. So what you can do CCI, these companies in a strategic disinvestment. You can see the strategic disinvestment, Air India, 100% disinvestment, Hindustan Zinc, strategic disinvestment, Pradeep Phosphate, strategic disinvestment, all has now huge profit making. But although this company was under strategic disinvestment, but government has not taken to implement that strategic decision, otherwise this company would have been Miniature Novotra companies. Because what I'm coming, the challenges, when I come to this company, I find this resources that can be, business model has to be changed. But very difficult to push on the ministerial level, but we're trying. We companies have huge lands. You can say 10,000 acres of lands in main locations. We have integrated captive limestone mines, 7 mines, non-operating mines. Huge value. One mines you can say 11,000 crores. So now, CCI, we don't have the capital and we don't have the expertise of private sector, we don't have the technology. And we are very difficult to survive in the cement industries. Although our quality is at par, earlier you may be knowing this cement brand, we are at par with the Ultratech, quality-wise, whatever, but we don't have technology, our technology outdated, 50 years old plant. So for sustainability, under disinvestment, in the legal framework, we are developing some strategy. That strategy is that we are making some tie-up collaboration with the state governments and PSUs. In fact, to utilize our resources, land, monetizations, and mining assets, to bring private sector expertise, also public sector, large people like NTPCs, Bharat Petroleums, they also agreed to utilize our land and mines and to bring the new technology expertise and set up new plants besides upgrading our old plant and expansion. And this is the strategy. So our business model has to be redesigned. Otherwise, sustainability revival question is very difficult. So leadership challenges as CCI is used, and this proposal is being given to government. And once this, I think the government will take considerably, then we will definitely make a suitable strategy for revival. Because these are only cement companies out of the 100%, 98% private player, only cement company backed by the government of India. And we have the huge demand infrastructure support from the government, but legacy issues, bureaucracies, and as I told the Indigo case, to some extent it apply, but that is intentional, but it is not intentional. So these are challenges, but think that this PSU has to think in that line because digital transformation is there, is a business strategy has to change, leadership has to change, new way of thinking, otherwise very difficult to survive in the industries. Maybe we are also thinking about the diversification for the renewable energy because we have land. Unless you go for the diversification for solar energy and other energies, we cannot survive. So only cement industry, we are thinking for the diversification. We are changing our business model despite the challenges. Thank you.
Thank you, Pradeep ji. I think very, very meaningful and candid inputs. I think does reflect in terms of the sector, the directions which PSU should be heading to. So I'll move on to, as you can see, the diversity, right, from smart city to seeds to cement. So let's move on to the energy side. So we have 3 representatives. So we'll start with A.K. Tripathi ji, Executive Director, Gas Authority of India Limited. So obviously, your sector is very, very important, right, for the energy security. And you also have another responsibility for making sure that this is sustainable, right, from an environment point of view. So one is, of course, purpose, efficient energy, cost efficient, social issues, but then sustainability. So I'll ask a similar question from all 3, gentlemen, but maybe you can start with that.
A very good morning to my fellow panelists and the participant in this event. First of all, I would like to add something about the PSUs. If you go back to 50 years or 60 years back, the infrastructure development was one of the challenge for India in post-independence era. Even you must be knowing that the hotel business, which is now mainly, primarily it is being governed by the private sector players now. Earlier it was one of the government-owned business. Similarly for vehicle manufacturers, like those were also being done by the government sector or PSUs at that time. And similarly for steel makers, if we don't forget about Steel Authority of India Limited, who is contributing a lot in the infrastructure development also. So there are like PSUs are one of the backbone builder in the post-independence era, and also in the present situation they are contributing in a big way. At present, if I talk about the only PSUs, the turnover of the PSU is somewhere around somewhere around 25 lakh crore per annum at present, and the profit contribution of these PSUs is somewhere around 5 lakh crore, and they are contributing in the form of dividend to their stakeholders of around 70,000 crores. So a lot of things are being done by the PSUs, but apart from that, it's necessary to be resilient and to stay in the business. The leadership of the PSUs has to think far away. I mean, they should look into the possibilities, what are the challenges which are coming up, and how those things has to be taken care. So for PSUs, the most important thing is that they are governed by the certain ministries. Like in case of GAIL, I will talk about the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, which has certain policies and certain guidelines which have to follow that. And then the second thing is the regulatory requirements. Petroleum and Natural Gas Regulatory Board has certain guidelines or certain regulations which need to be followed up. So the leadership has to take care of both the things, like at the policy matters and then to the regulatory board's requirement. And the ultimate thing, like if you have to sustain in the business, then you should be the customer centric also. You should know the need of customers, like what they want and how you are going to deliver. So that is also one of the I should say that it is the most important aspect. Similarly, in case of PSU, since public money is involved, so you need to be much more transparent. Whatever actions you are taking, that should be taken in the transparent manners. And similarly, you have to be, since it's not a 1 day, 2 day or a short-term goal, you have to be in this business for long term. So you have to be a long-term capital resilience, like your goal should be to take care of the capital, whatever is being invested, that should be taken care appropriately. And as far as GAIL is concerned, we all are doing, we in GAIL, we are taking care of all these things, and at present we had laid around 17,000 kilometers of pipeline all across India, connecting north to south, then west to east, then to the far east also. And we are almost completing around 1,000 kilometers of pipeline every year. And still at present we are constructing around 3,000 kilometers of pipelines. So our core values are dependent on these, and the leadership is aligned to what the future requirements are going to be. And moreover, if I go further beyond that, we had already started producing green hydrogen at one of our old plant, that is in Madhya Pradesh. There we have last year commissioned 4.3 ton per day green hydrogen production plant over there. So we are not only keeping our core values, we are taking care of the future business also. So this is from my side. Thank you.
Thank you. So we'll move on to Amal Krishna ji. So not here. Okay. So we'll move on to Yash. So sir, in terms of that of course similar sector Indian oil, right? So your views about the similar issues in terms of how to make it sustainable, profitable, also have an eye on the long-term vision, like Tripathi mentioned.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I think what I echo the thoughts that have been shared. Sustainability and long-term business, while it has to align with the national objectives, what has been defined by the government. Energy plays a very critical role. There is absolutely no doubt about that. I think the companies, all the companies which are operating in this sector are aware of the fact that on one side, the requirement of resilience, the requirement of continuity is a important thing. On the other side, it has to be balanced with the sustainability, whether it is from the natural side, and there are so many initiatives being taken by all these companies altogether. I think the question is about, how companies are looking at it. What I can talk about energy sector, all these companies are now having a vision which is, completely aligned to what the national objectives are. But I'll just want to highlight one point here. Much before we start talking about, let's say, efficiencies or systems improvement, the first thing that, especially in the energy sector, is about resilience. I think that has a much higher priority, or continuity of the business has a much higher priority when it comes to designing or planning for the future. So that is where everything, centers around. The fulcrum is this resilience part, and I am quite excited about the way the things are going on in the entire sector. And that's from my side on this.
Also talk about innovation. I mean, innovation in the sector, generally if you look at PSUs, I won't say lagging behind, but catching up, right, in terms of innovation or technology transfer, especially, when we kind of, collaborate with other players. So your views, I mean, anybody can answer, but your views in terms of, how PSUs should focus on that part also, innovation and R&D as well.
Well, I would kind of disagree on the part that PSUs are lagging behind. I think one has to understand that, technology is moving at a pace where it is very difficult to catch up with it. I'll just give you an example. We started talking about improving the efficiencies by having data being ingested into AI models. By the time you actually end up building the infra and come out with something, the technology would have moved far ahead of what you had planned. And it's also important, as he rightly pointed out, that transparency and all these things have to be built into the entire procurement process. Sometimes, because of that, I'm not saying that it is a bad thing, but yes, it does. The gestation period for any of the projects in PSUs would be longer or higher as compared to the enterprises or the corporate world. There are so many things that have to be taken into account before a project is rolled out. I think that kind of appears, or it is perceived that the PSUs are lagging behind, but I can give you ample examples in just about all the energy companies. I can talk about the energy sector, that there is absolutely no dearth of innovation being tried, being done, technology being adopted, system improvements being planned, things being rolled out in such a manner that, we, whatever technology is there to help us out are being adopted. My simple point is that the delay is only a perceived delay. It's because of the processes. We have very robust processes that have to be followed. I'm not trying to defend or rather, criticize this. I'm simply saying that I think in a way this is a good thing. We end up checking or ironing out just about all the issues before we roll out. Yes, at times it does take, but if you look at the R&D, the number of patents that PSUs have is huge. We are amongst the front runners when it comes to developing these products, whether these are process improvements. And I think we tend to miss out whenever we talk about R&D. R&D is not just about the products, it's also about the processes. How these processes are being improved. That also is a key indicator of the innovations being done. So my point is that when we talk about research, development can only be process as well as product part.
Thank you. I think my idea was to provoke you also, to everyone also, so that, we kind of, keep innovating and challenge ourselves, right? So we have Arvind from Indian Port Association, right? So Arvind, obviously, ports, needless to say in terms of, their importance in our sector, right? So your views from association point of view, things, challenges, how to make it better, sustainable for future.
Good afternoon, everyone. Indian Port Association is a apex body of the 12 major Indian ports under the administrative control of the Ministry of Port, Shipping and Waterways, working since 1966 for the betterment of the port. We IPA for all major ports driven the IT and digitization initiative, like MSW Sagar Setu, that is the national message exchange platform, where the multiple stakeholders are onboarded. These are as per the norms of the international standard that is managed by the International Maritime Organization. We have adopted all the fall conventions where India is one of the leading country for the fall convention, and we adopted all the maritime single window kind of the system where all 7 forms, the minimum requirement for the vessel clearance and the voyage clearance has been adopted. Apart from that, we have adopted the SOLAS convention where the security related requirement of the ship has been done as per the international standard. That is managed by the Indian Navy and the Coast Guard in line with the DG shipping. This MSW Sagar Setu platform, as I said, it's a national level ecosystem where the multiple messages are exchanged. The statistics like as of now, all the 12 major ports are onboarded on the MSW Sagar Setu. Apart from that, 54 non-major ports. So its numbers is the 67 total ports in India is onboarded on the system. All the vessel clearance, all the regulatory requirement has been done centrally through this portal. Apart from that, more than 19 lakhs transactions per month has been happening on this portal. These are integrated with multiple stakeholders like IceGate of the custom, immigration system also, the railway system, the FOIS also. Apart from that, DGLL, Director General of Lighthouse, DG Shipping, Port, Public Health Organization called the PHO also. Apart from that, multiple banks are integrated for the transaction related to scale of rate of the ports. So monthly around 1,200 crores rupees of the revenue has been collected by the major ports and the non-major ports also through this MSW Sagar Setu. We have integrated more than 12 banks, major banks, multiple payment aggregators also. And the challenges that you just highlighted, that this is the dynamic ecosystem where the multiple stakeholders are there. So everybody having their own kind of the IT system. So integration and all those things are the challenge. As the technology is not the challenge, the decision making and all the regulation and all the information exchange, the seamless exchange is one of the key challenges for this. Apart from that, this sector is prone to your cyber attack and all those things. In the time of the Operation Sindhu, the many major ports faced the major attacks, but we are having some kind of the robust cyber security framework to cater all those attacks and all those challenges.
Thank you. So, Gagan, so maybe we'll have a little bit of technology conversation now. So you heard it, everybody. So I kept it you for the last, so that so the main points about in terms of sustainability, profitability, that means revenue maximization and cost reduction, right, to the extent possible for PSU, and also ensuring the good quality outputs are delivered, right? So share your experience in terms of how in this entire spectrum better planned digital transformation, better integrated, that Arvind also mentioned, right, can play a role, right, and also a technology.
Thanks, Amit. So, I was hearing all the esteemed PSU leaders here, right, and I've taken the key points, like Yask so mentioned that sustainability is very important, resiliency is very important. Few people mentioned profitability is very important, processes needs to be followed. So I'll give you the instance. So we in MongoDB, it's a database company, and we are one of the leaders in database. So I'll give you the instance. We are working with a couple of PSUs today, and when we are talking to the leaders at the top, the biggest problem they today have is, right, which they want to solve is, what Yask sir also mentioned, is technology is changing at the realm of anything. You blink an eye and the technology changes. How to keep pace with it. So strategies are defined, like sir mentioned sitting next to me, that leadership cannot do anything, right? You have to have a proper processes in place, the vision, how the things you will execute. And that only matters at the top level is when you are making a strategy, at the middle layer and at the bottom layer, they are able to execute it in a different way and in a proper way, right? How that happens. Today, every strategy can be analyzed to an application, correct? Like if it's a refinery, IOC, right? How refinery is running. Humans are there for the processes, but technology plays a role, right? If technology is not, it's a legacy, it's bound to fail, right? Whatever strategy you make, right? So we are working with the PSUs, and when we are talking at the top level, they say, this is the strategy, this is the business vision, and how to cope up with it. When we deep dive into it, the biggest challenge they face is the legacy systems. Their expectation is AI ready. LLMs, sir mentioned, right? Their LLMs, they have prepared the LLM, but now they're outdated. How the applications can be modernized? Because if applications are not modernized, the entire machinery goes for the toss. It slows down. You have made the strategy on the paper. So application modernization is very important. And today, applications, when we deep dive, they are using the legacy systems. They are using the legacy systems, right, which are not able to cope up with that kind of the analytics. I was talking to one of the directors or joint secretary at one of the departments, and then said, Gagan, at my level, my biggest thing is all the departments, what they are doing, I want to see the data. I want to see the analytics. We have huge data, but how to use it? I don't know. That is what real-time analytics is. That is what, you get a loop-wise circle. You analyze your data, you see your gaps, you fix those gaps, and that has to be in the loop-wise circle. Then only you can improve what sir was mentioning. Why corporate is? Because they are doing this. And to do that process, you need a modernization platform. You need the applications to be modernized. You need the entire infrastructure and machinery to be modernized, so that technology can help the strategist leader sitting at the top and the execution guys sitting at the middle layer and the bottom layer to give you the results. So that is what we are working with a lot of PSUs to modernizing their applications. We are having a presentation down the line, roundtables also. We have a booth outside. You all are welcome there to discuss in depth and in length how we can help you in that. Thank you.
So I'll ask the question from everybody also in terms of what they expect from commercial sector, right? Maybe a 30-second answer in terms of 1 minute answer. That obviously, as I said in the beginning, that PSUs work like ice cutters, right? So they need to ensure that the private sector also grow, but at the same time government has a strategic control, right? The security point of view. So your 30 seconds in terms of what you expect PSUs to do differently, given all the challenges, procurement processes, from your view.
I think there are two aspects to this, because when I am talking to PSUs and all the so-esteemed dignitaries, there is always a two school of thoughts, always. Some say security is good, but security should not bog us down with the technology innovation. What we will do of security, we have everything on-prem today, but because of security we have on-prem today, but we are not able to modernize. And because of that, again what sir said, it's not that they don't have talent. PSUs have amazing talent. When we do, believe me, tech sessions, sometimes we get bogged down with their technology questions. Problem is the process. Now the strategy is made that security is so important, we should not go on cloud. So some people say, no, it has to be on-prem only. We need to modernize that also, right? So my take is always, you should always adopt for the technology to all the PSUs. This is my personal view, which is hybrid. It is on-prem so that you have a strategic control, but also something at cloud so that you can scale up. Your performance, your efficiency, your scalability, your modernization is not hindered. I'm telling you, otherwise, the way technology is driven in last 30 years, what innovation happened, that innovation is happening after every 2 years, and we all will be out of the race. So we have to adopt the hybrid technology. That is what we believe in MongoDB also, and we have the processes defined for it. Thank you.
No, rightly mentioned. So sometimes we are kind of caught between different words like sovereignty, make in India, self-reliance, right? So, I mean, these are different words, right? They are not same. So you also have to see I think the more important point is survivability. So whether I can survive without you, do I have a geopolitics risk with you? Do I have the effective regulatory control with me to run with or without you? So I think some of those things are important to plan. So maybe last, 30 seconds, ESG from you from that corner. So what do you expect from commercial sector? Like, to help complement PSUs. So everybody, same questions, short answer.
I have a different viewpoint on this. If we talk about 15 years or 20 years back, there was certain issues regarding taking the decisions on swiftly and in fast manner and going for modernization also. But these days, if we talk since last 10 years or so, every PSU is very fast in taking those decisions, rather for upgradation or digitization or any new thing comes. So, for survival of PSUs, they are well equipped and they are fast enough to take decision in the interest of their own commercial entity. So, I think it's have a better future in days to come.
Sure.
Well, my take from the commercial side is that, PSUs and for that matter, government-owned entities are to follow a certain mandate, are to follow a certain objective. My ask from the commercial entities, and this is something that Gagan also pointed out, would be that the commercial entities also kind of follow that, they align to that vision, and all of us are Indian companies, whether it is government-owned or non-government-owned. The key point is to be aligning to the basic requirement. You absolutely nailed it by saying that, it has to go on, the lights have to be kept on. Resilience is what both of us, commercial and the PSUs, have to be aligned to.
Again, I said, but again, just to reiterate and in a crisp way that, yes, the private industry has to align with the PSUs and it's like a handshake. And we both need each other to grow together, and obviously the strategic control should be with the government PSUs, but there should always be a hybrid approach where we can scale it also. So try to find out technology in the space, whatever you are doing, where obviously first preference is you have everything in control, second preference is hybrid model also, what suits the mandate and the vision. Because again, I'm telling you, when we are discussing, everyone is talking about their PSUs, but when I at my level discuss to different PSUs, the vision changed from that side to that side also. The mandate changed from that side to that side also sometimes at that level, at the ministry department level. So we are very flexible in that, the corporate world. So we want to align with each department's vision and mandate so that we all can grow together. That's it. Thank you.
I will conclude, I will give my views that rule of business changed. Maybe private sector published, we are in business. The rule, fundamental assumption of business which represented pre-digitalization area no longer hold good. So in PSU, you have to follow the digitizations, innovations, otherwise you cannot survive in the industry. As I told, it is not about the leadership, not about technology, it is the business strategy, new way of thinking, upgrading, and going for the innovations. Looking at the 5 domain of transformation. Thus 5 domain include customer, competition, data, innovation, value. So this business strategy decision has to revolve around this 4 domain. So unless you go for the innovations, be PSUs, you cannot survive in the business in long run in the global competition. You cannot maintain sustainability, and like Nokia, you be a dinosaur in the business. This is my views. So we have to upscale our people, and people should leave the legacy, train their mind, be innovative, get trained, upscale their peoples, and inform the PSU's employees that this is a purpose behind this innovation. And they have to change their mindset and culture. Otherwise, you cannot success in business in long run. You will be a dinosaur, like Nokia and other, you can say. Thank you.
The question is a very $1,000,000 questions, but the thing is there, PSU can do tremendous work, but what is needed is as my previous speaker told that technology and innovation, that is a must. Second thing, they must be given little bit more freedom with accountability. Freedom is not absolute. Give them freedom because wings are yours, sky of nobody. So who restricts you to go and fly? So from every sphere. And so far private is concerned, all are brothers, private, public, researchers, stakeholders, users, all must come together to a platform, setting away that profit motive attitude, service motive attitude. That is what I can say. Thank you.
Yeah, Indian ports are working toward the making the ease of doing business. They are providing the multiple services. Each port are having different kind of the scale of rate and all those things to cater the demand of the commercial organizations for the EXIM trade. Government of India come up with the Maritime India Vision 2030 as well as the Maritime Amritkal Vision 2047, where all the major ports and all the entities in the maritime sector has been given the different kind of the KPIs and the key focus area to achieve. So every individual ports, specifically major ports are working toward achieving this kind of the KPI and the growth of the country and facilitating more trade for the maritime ecosystem.
Jammu Smart City Limited, as I said, is a special purpose vehicle of government of Jammu and Kashmir. So commercial survivability as it is not a major concern for us, even though we are trying to achieve that by way of putting many projects in public-people partnership. However, the major concern with our organization is to ensure longevity and sustainability of the assets that we have created. On that front, we continue to face a number of challenges, even though we are constantly trying to improvise and ensure that that these assets withstand the test of time. And one of the major problems that we do face is the theft and vandalization of the assets, and we have tried to put in place mechanisms like installation of CCTV cameras, but still we are facing those problems. So in nutshell, I should say that our main issue is to focus on ensuring that the assets that we do create are remain there for a long period of time and serve public. And commercial survivability as such is not a major concern for our organization, like as it is with other PSUs.
No, thank you. So thanks everyone. I think so. I think we got a very, very diverse views, and because of a diverse sectors, and we kind of covered a lot in 1 hour, right? Views from, horizontal views also from different sectors. So thank you very much. Thanks for the views, and thanks everyone. Thank you.